Class 1 test fails. Real stories you won't believe. Alright, let's talk about Class 1 test fails. The ones that make examiners shake their heads. The ones that turn a simple test into a full-on soap opera. And the ones that will make you think, oh, no, I would never do that. But would you? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Patrick Bill, your HGV instructor with over 20 years of experience and enough stories to write a Netflix series. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and if you are thinking about training for your HGV license, check the description for our contact details. Trust me, you will want to do this the right way. Now, before we dive into this absolute car crash, or should I say lorry crash stories, let's break down what you actually need to get your Class 1 license. Because, believe it or not, the driving test is not the first step. Theory test. The bit you can't ignore first. You've got to tackle the theory test. This is split in two parts. Hazard perception, click at the right time or fail miserably. Multiple choice, answer enough questions correctly, or feel like you just sat an exam in ancient Greek. And if you actually want to work as an HGV driver, not just collect licenses like Pokemon cards, you need CPC module 2, which is basically a spot the nonsense test about daily lorry life. Let's call it common sense challenge, except it's not always common sense. Alright, theory sorted. Now let's get to the juicy part, the fails. The first story, Jonathan, the overconfident speed demon. Jonah, this guy knew trucks. He'd been around them, talked about them, probably dreamed about them. He walked in like he was born in an HGV cab. But there is the difference between confidence and driving like you stole the thing. The examiner's feedback: you were too fast. You were approaching junctions and roundabouts so quickly that I had to slow you down. Yep, the examiner had to intervene, which is basically the kiss of death for your test. Here's where it goes from bad to, oh mate, just stop. Jonah wasn't happy with this feedback. Instead of nodding and learning, he argued. He got out of the cab. He slammed the door. Let me tell you something. Throwing a tantrum at the test center is not the best way to make a lasting impression. Imagine turning up for your next test and the examiner remembers you as that guy. Not ideal, right? Next story, Singh, the roundabout nightmare. Next up, Singh. This guy had already failed 4 times before coming to us. And every time, roundabouts. First attempt, he pulled out in front of someone. Second attempt, he hesitated so long that other drivers thought he was parked there for the night or something. And here's the thing, once you start overthinking, it snowballs. You go from, I know how to do this, to, wait, do I? And let's not forget, every failed test means more money spent, more pressure, and that little voice in your head whispering, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Spoiler alert, he was cut for it, and he just needed the right training. We broke it down, rebuilt his confidence, and boom, Singh is now out there owning the roundabouts, owning the roads, not fearing them. And the next story, story number 3, Adam, the meeting traffic meltdown. And finally, there is Adam. His issue, meeting oncoming traffic. Sounds simple, right? But when you're in a massive HGV, sometimes you have to use the opposite lane because your truck is just too big. Problem? Adam wasn't stopping when the opposite lane wasn't clear. He would just sort of go for it and hope for the best. Which in an HGV is like hoping your parachute works after you jump out of the plane. He worked hard on this one. We drilled in the awareness, the planning and the confidence to own the road properly. And guess what? He passed. License in hand. Job sorted as well. Final thoughts. Don't be these guys. Look, failing the Class 1 retest happens, but if you don't want to be the next Jonas, Ing or Adam, get the right training before you step into the cab. Oh, and if you want that extra safety net, we offer a pass guarantee. Basically means we won't just throw you into the test and hope for the best. We make sure you're ready. So if you're serious about getting your license, give us a shout. Details are in the description. And don't forget to subscribe, because trust me, I've got plenty more stories to tell. In the next one, drive safe.